What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color and to another episode of This Week in Physical Media, our weekly live show that we shoot every Monday night where we go over every new Blu-ray and 4K release that's coming out this week. All of these titles will be coming out tomorrow, Tuesday, May 28th. We're already in the last week of May. I can't believe we're already done with this month, but we've got a lot of things to talk about. Some of the boutique labels are dropping their last hurrah before the month is over, especially Vincent and all of their partner labels. Everything's coming out tonight, so we got a lot to get through. We shoot this show, like I said, on Monday nights, and we shoot it every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we always have a good time chatting movies and whatever else comes up in the live chat. Got a great live audience, group of regulars that join me every week for this. Give a couple shout outs. We've already got Kyle Hartman in the chat there, CG Anime Fan, Adam March is here, Kevin House is here, Gus Amaretti is here, and Michael Smith is already here. Thanks so much. Michael Smith says, was afraid you weren't going to do one tonight. Well, you were almost right. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get one out tonight because it is a holiday. Happy Memorial Day to all of you guys. Had my parents over this today, and we were, hanging out with the kids and everything. So they just left like about an hour ago. So I quickly threw together a thumbnail and got prepared for this video. But I also was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to do one tonight. But we're here. We're doing it. We're talking movies. So thank all of you guys for being here. We are in the last couple hours, I believe, of the Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sale. I think that ends tonight. So get your last couple purchases in. If there's anything else you still want to grab. I had a great time last week. Very late on Thursday night, we did a live stream going over the things I was interested in the sale. And I ended up picking up actually 6 things on that live stream during the sale. And actually, I woke up the next morning and bought 5 more things. So all of those will be coming soon, and I'll be doing a sale haul video for you guys and showing you what those releases look like whenever those come. This is my first time participating in the sale, so I don't know how often or how long it usually takes to get your sale haul in the mail from Vinegar Syndrome, but whenever they do get here, I'll be making a video for you guys. But let's go ahead and talk about the new releases that are coming out this week. Let's jump over to the other screen here while we get some people in. I'm expecting a little bit of a smaller crowd tonight because it is a holiday and I don't expect people to watch this goofy show if their family is over. So let's go ahead and see what's coming out. This is 21st. Let's go to March 28th. Boom. Right off the bat. First thing here, Crimson Peak getting a 4K release of an Arrow limited edition. So this is actually, let me go ahead and switch back real quick. I actually have this release, so I have the Blu-ray version of this release, which is beautiful. Same exact packaging that we're going to get for the 4K, so I can show you what this looks like here. Love the size of this thing. Love the big, thick shelf space, the big, thick spine that it takes up on the shelf. You've got a lovely little... This is different from usually... They do slip boxes on their Arrow limited edition, so this would slide off and you just get like a case and a booklet inside. This one actually opens up, and then inside you get this special, there's the disc back there, Blu-ray disc, and then you get the digipack here, which that actually slides out, and there's a hardcover book in there. This is the coolest, one of my absolute favorite Arrow releases. There's also some art cards in there, but yeah, this is incredible, and I had to hunt this one down. This was out of print when I found it, so I probably will not be picking up and upgrading to the 4K because I'm happy with the Blu-ray. I think it's good enough for me for this film. It's not one of my favorite films, and I love the packaging, so I'm going to hold off and just stick with my Blu-ray. But if you missed the Blu-ray, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get that packaging again with the 4K version. So Arrow's releasing a 4K edition, and it's actually on sale right now on Amazon for $42, which is not bad at all. That's cheaper than I paid for this one. But here, we'll open up the overview, even though I kind of just showed you what it looks like. But here you go. You got that same little slip cover inside. It looks like the art cards are different on this one. So it is slightly different, but the main core of the packaging looks to be the same. But yeah, that is very cool. I wish I could get my hands on one of those, but like I said, I'll probably hold off because I already spent the money on the Blu-ray, and there's just so many other things that I want to pick up. I don't think I need to double dip on this one specifically. If you missed this one, I would say check it out. It's a 2015 film by Guillermo del Toro. Not one of my absolute favorites of his, but I think it's better than it is remembered. I think it's kind of found a cult following at this point. But when it came out, I remember the general public being kind of disappointed with it. But I have heard more people talking about it recently. And now it's got its little cult status with Arrow. So I like that one quite a bit. It's a nice little ghost story from one of my favorite directors, Mr. Del Toro. So check that one out. Blu-ray.com has been acting a little weird today. It's kind of like super laggy. So sorry if that happens a couple times. Let's go ahead and talk to the chat here, and we'll jump into some more releases. So Kyle Hartman says, good evening, DJ. I got Crimson Peak 4K early. Oh, very cool. Narc 4K, Kung Fu Panda 4K, and I'm going to be getting Crybaby. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about all those here in just a minute. CG Anime Fan says, I hope that everybody's having a great weekend and Memorial Day. Yeah, I also hope that. Adam Arch is here. Kevin Hart is not here. Kevin House is here. Always a pleasure. Gus Amoretti, always very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to have you here. Kyle Hartman says, I got Bob Marley One Love Steelbook earlier, 4K. Okay. I've heard that's all right. That's an okay movie. It's doing really well though. It made a lot of money. Mel says, bit of a segue, but has anyone at all heard about whether Sometimes I Think About Dying will be getting a physical Blu-ray release? Thanks. Well, I'm gonna have to leave that up to the chat because I have not heard one way or the other. Michael Smith says, got mine. It is beautiful. I'm assuming he's talking about the Crimson Peak set. I'm very jealous, sir. Patrick Williams is here. I'm watching it, family or not. Well, he's abandoning his family to talk about this. Hopefully this will be a short one tonight because, like I said, it'll probably be a smaller crowd so I can get you back to your family in an orderly fashion. Jar Jar Ed also has this release of Crimson Peak. Very cool. Very cool. I'll read a couple more here. Michael Smith says, I saw an interview with the cast of Crimson Peak, and oddly Jessica Chastain said she did not enjoy filming it, said she loved Del Toro, but that her character was miserable, which made her that way. Oh, well, sometimes you get a little too close to your characters, I guess. Bailey Walsh, just in time to join. I love Crimson Peak. I do have the standard Arrow Blu-ray, but I did order the LE 4K. It's on its way. The costumes and production design are to die for. More gothic romances, please. I agree. I think it's great. I've only seen it once. I need to rewatch it. I'm sure I'll appreciate it more on a second viewing, but I loved it the first time. I didn't like the effects. For some reason, the ghosts just kind of look like weird, gummy, like, I don't know. I didn't buy the ghosts. But I did like the callback to his earlier film. What's it called? Now I'm not going to be able to think of it. The one with the ghost kid. Oh my gosh, it's the one that's in the Criterion Collection. It's called The Devil's Backbone. That's what it's called. And he does this little, the ghost kid has this little like blood thing that like goes up and like turns into a little ghost blood. And then they did that at the end of Crimson Peak. Spoiler alert. It's not really a big spoiler alert, but it's a nice little reference if you're a big Guillermo del Toro fan. All right, let's jump back over here and see. Yeah, like I said, it's not one of my favorite Guillermo del Toros. I think the three in the Criterion Collection are probably my top three. Also, actually, no, because I would have to include Shape of Water in there too, because that's one of my absolute favorites. That would be my top three. But yeah, those are my top four, probably. And I really love Hellboy 2. Witch Story 4K is coming out this week. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. And it is, wow, look at all this. It is a slipcover and original pressing. It's a 4K, a Blu-ray, and it is limited to 6,000 copies, like all the Vinegar Syndrome releases. I'm going to take a chance here and click on the slipcover and hope it's not inappropriate. There we go. It's a ghost girl floating in front of a rocking chair. All the creepy things in one cover. I do not know what this movie is, as it is with all Vinegar Syndrome releases pretty much. But they put out some lesser known stuff that they don't have to pay too much to get the rights to, and then they put out really, really solid, nice releases. Like I said, I picked up a few things. I don't think I picked up any Vinegar Syndrome proper releases, but I did pick up a lot of their partner label stuff, and I'm very excited for those to come in. We're going to go through a lot of Vinegar Syndrome tonight, so I'm going to go through pretty quickly. We've also got Lady Reporter coming out from 1989 from Vinegar Syndrome, and it has a slipcover as well. I'll pull that up. Looks very familiar, looks very similar to most Vinegar Syndrome slipcovers. They have a house style, probably the same artists that they use a lot. So there you go. It looks very similar to the Sidekicks release that I have from the VSU line, which is probably because it's the same artist. But Lady Reporter, look at that. She's a reporter and a martial artist of some kind. So that's a action comedy film from 1989. And then the next one from Vinegar Syndrome, if Blu-ray.com will ever load, this is going to be a problem tonight if Blu-ray.com does not pick up the pace here. Then we've got The House Where Death Lives getting a Blu-ray release, also from Vinegar Syndrome, another 80s horror film, 1981. And of course, you know the drill, slipcover and original pressing only, and then once that's sold out, you can get the standard version. Like Vinegar Syndrome and a lot of boutique labels are doing these days, your Deaf Crocodiles, your Yellow Veils. And speaking of some of those boutique labels, we've got a Deaf Crocodile release right here that I'm going to jump to because I was actually almost going to buy this. I found this just like by myself. No one told me about this one. I was just looking through the Deaf Crocodile films on, because actually if you watch that stream, we found out live during the stream that all the Deaf Crocodile titles that were already marked down to 20 because they were going out of print because they're not working with them anymore, dropped in half again, and they were only $10. So I picked up as many of those as I could, all the animation ones I picked up, and then this one was there, but this one was not $10. This one wasn't even on sale because it is coming out tomorrow. It's not out yet, but this one seems awesome. Kin Za Za, which is a Russian film, and on the website it sold me. It described it as let me pull it over here so you guys can see it. Kin Za Za. This was described as Tarkovsky meets what is it? What is that book called? Now I can't remember it, but it sold me on it. That sci-fi novel that is good grief, one of my best friends is gonna kill me because it's his favorite movie. What is it called? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's what it's called. So it said this was like if Tarkovsky did a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy adaptation. It was also compared a little bit to some good grief. It's been a long day and I have been with the family all day and I can't think of anything, but it's a very like weird offbeat comedy, but like super dry, and it's this weird like Tarkovsky kind of pacing. It's very strange. I watched the trailer on YouTube and it seems super interesting, so I almost went ahead and bought it, but I did not because it wasn't on sale. So I'll hold off and maybe get that down the line from like the Deaf Crocodile site, or I will just pick it up from Vinegar Syndrome later on, maybe when I pre-order something that we're going to talk about here in a bit. But yeah, this seems really cool. I've heard some comparisons to Terry Gilliam as well. And yeah, it seems bonkers and crazy and something that I would really enjoy. That has a slipcover, only 2,000 copies on that original pressing, and that is another 1986 sci-fi film. So let me know if you've seen that one because it seems really cool and something that I would be really interested in. Who else is here in the chat? A couple people popping in. We'll do a couple more releases here and then we'll talk to you guys over there because we do have quite a bit to get through tonight. This is one of the Criterion releases coming out this week and one that I'm very excited about, Anatomy of a Fall, which is a 2023 film, just came out last year. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It was one of my favorite movies of last year. Probably top 3, a film by Justine Triet, and it is a French film. Well, it's half French and a lot of English, so you're fine. You're fine. Even if you don't like reading subtitles, you'll be okay. It is a great. It almost feels like a true story because it's the way it's so well told. It's almost kind of documentary style. It's not a documentary, but it's filmed that way that it kind of feels that way. I think after it, me and Grace both thought it was based on a true story, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a really, really good story, and it's a court case about either murder or suicide that we don't know which one it is. Just a really good story. I really enjoyed that one. Very much looking forward to rewatching that when it comes to the Criterion collection, and it's already here. I remember when we announced that, and it's felt like forever ago, but now it's here already. So Anatomy of a Fall coming to the Criterion. Very excited about that. People putting fake spoilers in the chat for that movie, so don't worry. That is a joke. Oh, what else do we have here? We have Crybaby 4K, which was already mentioned by someone in the chat. We've got I've never even heard of this movie, but you got Johnny Depp right there on the front. This is a 1990 movie. It looks very 80s though. Look at that cover. Look at that. Johnny Depp. Filmed by John Waters, so his filmography is beloved in the boutique space. There's so many of his releases coming out from a lot from Criterion, but also now from Kino. Says he's a doll, he's a dreamboat, he's a delinquent. Oh man, look at her. She's always falling for the bad boy. Good old Johnny Depp. This is a romantic comedy musical. Wow, how appropriate that it drops right here in Musical May. I have not heard of this film. No one recommended this in our musical videos that we did. So I don't know how great this is, but we'll see. It is one movie, Crybaby, but it has two different cuts on there. 2 different cuts, and it's available right now from Amazon for $26.99, which is quite a bit off. For a 4K movie, that's pretty good. Pretty good. You can count on Kino Lorber for some good prices. Maybe not a lot of special features, not a lot of bells and whistles, but a good price and a good restoration, and that's all you need sometimes. And here we go. We'll do one more here. Another Vinegar Syndrome. This is a Vinegar Syndrome partner label, AGFA. And I actually heard about someone asking about this while we were on that Vinegar Syndrome stream on Thursday. This is a 1993 package of real commercials, it looks like. So it's called, Hey Folks, it's the Intermission Time Video Party. This is a Blu-ray release limited to only 1,000 copies. And I read the description here a little bit. It's listed as a documentary, but it's not really a documentary. It is, I'll read this here. It says, in the 1990s, Something Weird Video gifted humankind with Hey Folks, it's Intermission Time, a series of 6 magical VHS compilations that preserved vintage movie and drive-in ads. So these were a series of VHSs that came out in the 90s, and they were themselves a compilation of different ads for movie theaters and drive-ins, and then they have compiled all of those VHS tapes into one release, and they're releasing it, which would be very cool to just have and just get to watch through all those. I get nostalgic for those, even though I didn't even see the Plaza Theater, which is a theater here in Atlanta. They play old films. We just saw The Wizard of Oz and another film immediately after that, Brighter Summer Day. Last weekend we saw 2 there. They play a lot of classic films, and they usually play some older theater ads before it. So they play the Let's All Go to the Movies, lobby. Let's all go to the lobby, and then they play weird old ones where they're just holding up candy bars, and they're just it's very cheesy and awkward, and some of them are kind of weird, but it's nice. I don't know, it gets you in the mood for some classic movie theater experiences. So this would be really cool. I wish there was a kind of an easier way that you could if I had someone over for a movie night or something, a group of friends over, I could play some of these before it, but that would be weird because I'd have to put this disc in and scroll through the menu and then play a couple and then take it out and put the movie in. So that would be weird, but it would be cool if you could somehow do that a little more smoothly. But 1993, all of these VHS tapes, bringing them back. Very cool. And it's got a cool slipcover too. Look at that. There it is. Speaking of, that's what I was talking about. Let's all go to the lobby. That is the one they play, and there's a bunch of them. So yeah, look at this. Very cool. I like how they kind of treat it like it's one of those old posters for movie theaters. That's a very cool release. That was not on sale because everything that was released after 2024 started was not a part of the 50% off sale. But anyway, that is something you can maybe pick up in the near future. Anyway, let's jump back and see what people are saying here in the chat. We've got quite a few people here. Bigger audience than I was expecting tonight. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Jar Jar Ed says, I think that kid in the Witch Story poster art is Amy Adams. Does it look like Amy Adams? I don't know, man. I don't know. Michael Smith, I got 6 Deaf Crocodile titles in the Vin-Sin sale. Misordered one of them with something else, but they promptly took care of it for me. Awesome. Yeah, I also maybe picked up 6, maybe 5, maybe 6. I think I got 5 the first night, and then the morning I got 1 more because they were like $10. It was crazy. But like I said, I did get a few more in the morning, but I was able to add those to my existing order, so I didn't have to pay extra shipping. So there's an add to order button underneath once you go to the checkout, and you just add it right to it. And it was so awesome. Vinegar Syndrome has great UI and an user interface, and it definitely has great customer service. At least I've heard. I haven't talked to them directly, but I've heard that people get things straightened out really quick, just like Michael Smith just did. So I've had a great experience with them. We'll see how my movies get here, if they get here in one piece. Let's see. Kevin House, I plan to pick up Anatomy of a Fall during the July sale. Me too. We will definitely be grabbing that one in the July sale as well. Jay Hutch Talks Too Much says, spoiler alert, the dog did it. And then in his next one says, sorry, yes, spoiler alert 2, the dog did not in fact do it. If you might not even know what we're talking about, but Jar Jar Ed says Crybaby is good. That was turned into a Broadway musical adaptation too. Okay, interesting. I am. That's always interesting when they take a movie that is a musical and then turn it into a Broadway play that is a musical, and then I think sometimes it even gets turned back into a movie, which is very confusing. An internet user, how many musicals are left for you and Grace to watch? I think we both have about 3 left. I don't know if we're going to get through it, though. I think both of us are all musicaled out. We were talking about this the other day when we went out on a date the other day because my parents were watching the kids. And we're like, whew, I think I'm kind of musicaled out. I've been enjoying them, and I've been watching a lot of new great ones. But yeah, I don't know. I think I need to cleanse the palate a little bit. I still might watch a couple more. I think I have 2 more that are kind of different enough. One of them that's not even really that much of a musical, so I think I might knock that one out. And then one of them that's animated. If you watch that video, you might know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna watch those 2, and then we might call it a month because it has been. It's been a lot. We've been watching nonstop musicals all month long, but I'm glad we did it. It was a great idea, and it's been a lot of fun. And we will update our Letterboxd lists at the end of the month because some things are definitely going to make the list and bump some things off because we watched some really great things this month. But thanks for asking. Let's see. Bailey Walsh. Crybaby is one of my favorite movies. Definitely going to pick this 4K up. I haven't seen it in a while, though. Been quite a bit since I watched my DVD. Oh, well, cool. Well, I'm glad it's getting released then. It seems like a lot of people are really excited about it. Jay Hutch says Crybaby was my introduction to John Waters as a 10-year-old, which is probably way too young to be introduced to John Waters. Yeah, from what I hear, I still have yet to take the plunge myself, but hey, whatever works. Senior Stick says, hi, DJ. Welcome to the stream, Senior. Gus Amaretti, I picked up all the 4K new releases on the Vincent sale. Holy smokes. That's a... What did that set you back, man? That must have cost you a pretty penny. That's a lot of releases. An internet user, nothing like singing along to Let's All Go to the Lobby before watching a gory slasher. Yeah, it works with everything. It fits right in. Dan's Den is here. Howdy. Just got back from Furiosa. Still processing it. But wow. Oh, sweet. So I'm glad you seem to have enjoyed it. I'm going to see that, but I have not seen any Mad Max movies. I know! Haven't seen any of them. Totally missed out. I wasn't watching new movies back when Fury Road came out, but I need to go back. So I'm actually going to go back. My good friend John, who's been on the channel, he's writing a book about the 80s, so he needs to watch the second 2 Mad Max movies. So Grace and I just set off balloons somehow. Apparently this is the symbol for balloons. Sorry, I'm very distracted. We're going to watch, so Grace and I have to watch the first Mad Max. Then we're going to have John over and watch the second 2 Mad Max films. And then we'll watch Fury Road, and then we'll go see the new one. So we got a lot of catching up to do, but I plan to catch Furiosa before it leaves the theater. Let's see. Michael Smith, DJ, don't make Pink Flamingos be your first Waters film. Oh, I won't. I don't know if I'll ever see Pink Flamingos. I've heard plenty of that. I've heard plenty about that movie. Let's see. Swifty Police, where's that charming young man that loves Taylor Swift and wants to use her music in a movie? Well, that charming young man is all the way in LA. That was Connor. Swifty Police is talking about Connor, who was on the live stream with me for the first time on Thursday. And that was a lot of fun. And I really appreciated him being here, but he's out of town visiting some friends in Los Angeles, and he wouldn't be here anyway because I usually don't have guests on this show, but maybe one day we'll have a guest on here. All right, let's jump over and see what's next. Paganini is here, which has some nudity right there in the cover, so maybe we won't extend that one, but that's a Vinegar Syndrome release. Speaking of here, we've got another Vinegar Syndrome release. This is a VSU title, which means it gets a big, huge box set release. These are really nice, and we talked about this on the live stream on Thursday, but this is 4K Blu-ray combo pack. It's one of those Vinegar Syndrome Ultra titles. Gets a really nice release, and it is an action war movie from 1990, another 1990 film. We've got some late 80s stuff and some early 90s stuff. So this is Navy SEALs. A lot of people get high praise about this film on the last stream on Thursday. People saying this is a really, really good movie. So I've heard good things about it. It is starring Charlie Sheen and some other gentleman. Oh, Bill Paxton, way there on the end. Bill Paxton. So very cool. not the biggest war movie guy. There's definitely some war movies that I like, but I could maybe give this one a chance. I don't know if I like that one or not. But that's going to be one of those limited box sets from the Vinegar Syndrome Ultra line. So if you want that one, you better pick it up sooner rather than later. And I know there were quite a few people last week who said they wanted to check that one out. You guys are quite a people in my chat this evening. I love you guys. Then we've got The Tunnel and The Tunnel, The Other Side of Darkness, getting a two movie release from Umbrella Entertainment, which I just found out is a Vinegar Syndrome partner label. They also have stuff. I got one Umbrella Entertainment release in the sale that will be coming soon. So that's another partner label from Vincent that's dropping this week. More horror movies. Lots of horror movies. Vincent puts out mostly horror, and then a lot of their partner labels also put out horror. So we'll go through a lot of that this week. That's Tunnel and the sequel to Tunnel. And then we've got The Other Dimension and The Films of Fabio Salerno getting a Blu-ray release. Only 1,000 copies for this. This is from another partner label called Bleeding Skull. And yeah, more horror. More horror. Three tales of horror. So a little anthology piece there coming from Bleeding Skull. So yeah, I'm sure people who are interested in these Vincent releases are getting these newsletters dropped in their inbox, so they already know about all of these. But I'll run through them briefly in case any of them jump out at you and you just want to pick those ones up. This is Shinobi, though. This is not Vincent. This is a Radiance Films release. This is a box set of 3 movies from 1962 to 1963. I absolutely love the look of these Radiance Films box sets. I have been on the fence about picking one of these box sets up for a long time, and I don't know, the Vincent sale might have just broke my bank account, but I was planning on picking up a Radiance Films haul. Maybe I can still make that happen before the July sale, because I do want to pick up some of these Radiance films. They look like great releases, especially that box set that I want. But this is including the Band of Assassins, Revenge, and Resurrection, 3 films in one beautiful yellow and black box set with 3,000 copies. And like I said, these are 60s films. And that's all I know about them. It's 16th century Japan, and they're kind of like samurai war epics. So there you go. 3 films for the price of about $1.50. It's only $45 right now on Amazon. I love that you can pick up the Radiance Films releases from Amazon. That's really cool that they're making those available, because they're from overseas, and there's a lot of shipping fees that we have to pay in this country. If you live in this country, the same country I live, which is the United States, there's a lot of shipping that we have to pay. And that can be a deterrent sometimes when I'm trying to pick up some Region B titles. Next up, a 2022 film from Saturn's Core Audio and Video. What is that? I don't even know what that is. That's a brand new thing that I was not aware of. It's called Mom and Pop, the indie video store boom of the 80s and 90s. So again, on theme with 80s and 90s, this is a documentary about indie movie stores. And that might be a sad documentary, because they kind of went as quickly as they boomed on the scene, like they just said, because we don't even have movie stores anymore. Although we do have one movie store that's still functioning in Atlanta. It's actually right by the Plaza Theater, which I mentioned earlier. It's called Videodrome, and that is where we rented one of our musicals that we just watched. So I'm very thankful that that store is still around, because we would not have been able to watch all that jazz without Videodrome. Shout out to Videodrome. Then we've got, this is so cool. I didn't even know this was happening until I looked at the list today. This is Belladonna of Sadness, getting a 4K and Blu-ray combo pack. If you don't know what this is a seminal animated feature, very classic animated feature from 1973. You will see nothing like this. It's like painted. It's like hand-painted animation. Every frame looks entirely different. I'll go ahead and show you some. I usually don't do this, but I'll show you some of these screenshots if Blu-ray.com will cooperate. It might not. I don't even think it's going to let me blow them up. But you can kind of see there, very small. It's like complete, like every frame looks completely different. Hand-drawn, hand-painted animation. Very, very cool. There was a time where this film was on the Criterion Channel, and I didn't watch it. I wanted to watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I'm so upset with myself for not doing that, because Criterion Channel lost it, and it hasn't been anywhere since. And the Blu-ray for this was absurd. It was like $80. You couldn't get the Blu-ray, just a standard Blu-ray, but very low print run, and you could not get your hands on it. So the fact that we're getting a 4K is insane and so cool. And I am definitely going to be picking this one up as a big animation fan. $40 right now on Amazon. Very pricey, but still cheaper than that Blu-ray. That Blu-ray is insane. So if you've seen Belladonna of Sadness, I imagine a lot of people in the chat have probably seen this. It's pretty well known at this point. Very, very unique piece, and I can't wait to watch the rest of it. It is a surreal fantasy drama from Japan. Very, very dark. By the way, spoiler warning, like not spoiler warning, but just like content warning. It starts with a very, very intense, triggering scene if something like that has ever happened to you. So just be warned. Maybe look up a synopsis before you jump right into it, because I did not. And I watched like the first 10 minutes. I was like, whoa, that is dark. Next up, we've got a Severn Films release, a 4K from Severn, Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker. I like the sound of that. That sounds like a Mother Goose rhyme. Night Warning is apparently another title for this. This is a 1982 film. And guess what? It's horror, because it's Severn. Let me actually show you what I'm talking about. There it is. Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker. Look at that nice little slipcover from Severn. Severn's logo is kind of creepy, kind of weird. It's like it's just like a woman's creepy face. But there's the other cover without the slipcover, which looks pretty cool as well. Yeah, there you go. A horror film from 1982 about an orphan teenager who finds himself being dominated by his aunt, who's hell-bent on keeping him with her at all costs. Whew, that sounds like a sticky situation that young fellow is in, and I hope he gets out unscathed. Not unscathed, he's going to be scarred for life, but at least he's probably going to murder her and escape at the end, if I had to guess. Anyway, let's go see what else is happening here. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Lots of people here. Gus says, DJ, you need to watch the OG Mad Max movies. I know, and I will. Probably before the month is out, because like I said, we're putting a cap on the musicals. We might switch over to Mad Max May instead. Let's see. Ethan Edwards says the screen reads sign language. I guess so. Yeah, watch this. There's some weird thing on Apple where you can like do. Now it's not going to do it. Now it's going to be stage fright. It's going to be shy. There it is. There's the thumbs up. Yeah, I don't know how I set off balloons though. That was weird. Ethan Jagger says the Road Warrior is pretty cool. Fury Road is awesome. I'm excited to check out Furiosa. Yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do. Hey, Connor Nielsen, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in LA. Oh, he is tuning in live from the bathroom of an IHOP in LA. What are you doing? Go back and hang out with your friends, sir. You're supposed to be out partying. Don't tune into my live stream. What are you doing? Ethan Edwards says I haven't seen Navy SEALs, but it's supposed to be horrible. Mixed messages, man. I'm getting mixed messages. It's like films are subjective or something. Dan's Den, Navy SEALs, a funny, largely unintentional early 90s Top Gun clone. Could have been Michael Baine's larger push into a great career, but it wasn't to be. Ooh. Connor Nelson says the things we do for friends. Hey, I didn't ask you to tune in from a bathroom of an IHOP, sir, but I do appreciate the love, and I hope you're having a good trip out there. Let's see what else we've got going on. Anything else? Ooh, people are just talking to other people. So good. That'll give me a chance to get back over here and blow through a couple more of these releases. Cemetery Man getting a 4K release, another Severn release. This one doesn't look like it has a nice fancy slipcover, but it is, wow. Whoa. Oh, that typeface. Whoa, that is rough. That's like what year is this? I'm assuming this is like 90s or something. Yeah, 94. You can tell by the typeface, man. It's like we just figured out how to do the gradient there. We've got the little nice silver gradient. We just figured out how to do a drop shadow. That's rough. That did not hold up well. Sorry, Cemetery Man, for critiquing your logo, but that's pretty rough. This is a horror film, a romance film, a comic book film, and a comedy. It's everything. It's everything it needed to be. Look at that. Cemetery Man with a wonderful logo from Severn Films. There you go. Yeah, that's all I know about that one. It is it's a nice little horror romance film. Let's see. Good grief, the slowness of Blu-ray.com tonight. What's going on, guys? You gotta boost your site here a little bit. All right, as mentioned earlier in the chat, we've got Kung Fu Panda 4 coming to 4K. I did not see this one. I also did not see the third one. I despise DreamWorks and them beating their franchises into the ground. They do it way too much. They did it with Shrek. They did it with Kung Fu Panda. It's too much. It's too much. The first Kung Fu Panda is actually a really great movie, and I love the first Kung Fu Panda. But stop it, DreamWorks. Here's the fourth one. You know, it's got Awkwafina in it. It's got Jack Black again, who's always great. But like, I don't know. Do we need to see another one? I don't think so. Maybe it's great. I haven't seen it. I shouldn't judge a book by its franchise, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. I'm just trying to fill time as this site goes back to the main site because it is taking a long time tonight. All right, let's go to Kino Lorber. We've done Severn. We've done Vinegar Syndrome. We did a little bit of Kino Lorber with Crybaby, and now we're going to do another one. This one actually looks really interesting. This is Sci-Fi Chillers Collection, getting a Blu-ray release. 3 movies from 57 to 66, The Unknown Terror, The Colossus of New York, and Destination Inner Space. Yes, please. Horror movies from the 50s and 60s. Horror movies that are science fiction stories. Yes to all of the above. This sounds awesome. Look at that artwork. It's like a giant golden man who kidnapped a woman. What is this? And we've got a blue fish creature here. We've got a skeleton in a spacesuit. And then we've got a green furry monster over there. This looks amazing. This I'm into. This I'm actually really into. I got time for this. These are 50s, 60s little sci-fi horror films. Black and white, low budget, with monsters. Sounds great. Sign me up. I'm good. $32 for 3 movies? Sold. Anyone else? Anyone with me? Just me? I think that looks awesome. I can't wait to get to my Arrow box set. I've got the Cold War Creatures box set from Arrow Video. I haven't shown on the channel yet, but I'm excited to dive into that this Halloween season. That'll definitely be on the list. Daniel Isn't Real is a Yellow Veil Pictures, which is another partner label of Vinegar Syndrome. It's got a really creepy looking cover right here. Kind of like, it looks like if there was ever like an R-rated adult Animorphs cover, this is kind of what it would look like. Except he's turning into a demon instead of an animal. But there you go. That is a 2019 movie, brand new movie. That's still new in my opinion. That's almost, what is that, 5 years old at this point? I still say that's a brand new movie. Daniel Isn't Real, slipcover and original pressing, 2019 film from Yellow Veil Pictures. Yellow Veil Pictures puts out a lot of recent releases, but they also put out some old stuff too. I've got some older films from them, but they do a lot of newer stuff that doesn't get releases. Very similar to Oscilloscope Laboratories in that sense. Let's look at this next one here. Another partner label of Vinegar Syndrome. Everyone dropping everything at once here like they always do at the end of the month. This is The Great Land of Small getting a Blu-ray release. This is from Canadian International Pictures, which I actually went down a Canadian International Pictures rabbit hole the morning after that live stream that we did on the Vincent website. And I picked up, I think, 3 or 4 Canadian International Pictures releases, and that's what I bought the second day, and some more Deaf Crocodile stuff. So yeah, they do some cool stuff, and they put out a surprising number of kids movies, which I'm always interested in because I've got small children, and I like to have some weird, quirky stuff at the house that they haven't seen before. Should I get this? Maybe anyone know anything about this? This is The Great Land of Small. Look at this. You've got a creepy looking leprechaun giant behind them. You've got butterfly people flying around. Let's see what that's what the cover looks like. Is the slip the same? I think the slip is the same. Yeah, same exact thing. But look at that, butterfly people flying around. You got a purple one, a green one, a yellow one. I gotta read the synopsis on this. This is a 1987 film. 2 children enter a fantasy kingdom and are confronted by evil forces. That could be the most generic synopsis of all time, but it could be awesome. Interesting. So it's like just 2 kids going in and they just meet these butterfly people and leprechauns. That's definitely a leprechaun. What is that? That can't be anything but a leprechaun. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But fantasy movie, kids movie, maybe something I could show my kids. That sounds cool. I got a lot of time for that. Maybe I'll have to pick that one up in the actual Black Friday sale from Vinegar Syndrome. Probably not great. I'm not expecting it to be amazing. I picked up some other silly kids films from them, including a Santa Claus one and something to do with Martians. All right, here we are. We've made it to the cinematograph release. So this is Dangerous Game, which is directed by Abel Ferreira, and I will show you real quick. If you don't know by now, you probably do. If you've been on this channel, I've been talking about the cinematograph releases a ton, but this is what they look like. They come in a nice outer slipcover. They have a beautiful digibook underneath, and there's a ton of information in there and pictures, and then there's the disc. So this is the most recent one of these releases, and it's called Dangerous Game, and it's coming out tomorrow. This has been available for pre-order for a long time. I've held off because I heard that if you order something and a pre-order from Vincent, I think they told me that they hold all your items until the pre-order's out and then they send everything at once. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get my sale purchases first, and then I'll order this later after it comes out. They haven't been selling out, so I don't think this one's going to sell out. So I think I'll be okay. It does have 5,000 copies. It is limited. And it is a 4K release. This one here, the Red Rock West one, is not a 4K release, just Blu-ray, but this one is 4K, 1993 film, and I'm excited. It sounds interesting. It seems kind of meta. It's about people actually making a film. I think it's a lower budget independent film, but I'm excited to check it out. I've been loving those cinematograph releases so far, and I can't wait to get that one. All right, let's see what else we have here. Let's actually talk to the chat a little bit, because I've got behind over here. Where were we? Michael Smith, it's impossible not to be nice. Oh, sorry. People talking about Daisuke. Yeah, I love Daisuke. I also watch Daisuke's videos. I would love to chat with him someday. He seems like a really cool guy. Josh Knoll, first time here. I usually catch this on Tuesdays, so this is cool. Hey, welcome, Josh. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. Feel free to throw anything you want to in the chat, and we will talk about it. Jay Hutch talks too much. The IHOP bathrooms in LA are the best IHOP bathrooms west of Kansas City. Wow, he's going out on a limb there. Why couldn't he tune in from his table at IHOP? I don't know, man. I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to say it, but you did now. So yeah, I don't know. I guess he needed some quiet. I don't know. I don't expect to understand the Connor mind. Let's see. Josh says my copy of Cemetery Man comes tomorrow. I'm so glad it finally is on Blu-ray. It's pretty cool. Well, there we go. One endorsement. Dan Stan also says Cemetery Man was one of those cult movies I still need to see. Jeffrey Patron popping in. No worries, man. You can't be late to this show. Michael Smith watched Underworld Evolution last night. What really got me was the realism. Oh, man. Henry Biden Camp, Cemetery Man is very good film. Haven't seen since its release. Was a long time to get hold of, but recently been available. Sweet. So a lot of people are excited about Cemetery Man, apparently. Madhouse Studios Puss in Boots 2 is unironically great. Would recommend and defend. I would too. It's actually right back there in the white section. It is a great movie. I fully agree with you there. If we had to go through like 4-5 bad Shrek movies to get that, then I guess it was worth it. Dan also says, love me some 50s era Radiation B sci-fi films. I do too. That's such a niche genre that I really like. And there's some other ones that I've seen recently getting releases that I really want to check out. That's kind of why I want to get that Vincent release of the Saul Bass movie that's like about ants. I don't know. I love ants movies. Them is one of my favorite 50s Radiation B sci-fi films, like you said. It's great. It's so fun. Bailey Walsh, I've only seen Kung Fu Panda 4 of the franchise. Oh no, I was babysitting and that's what his mom got tickets for, is to go to it. It was fine, predictable as an adult. I don't have the others to compare it to though. We'll definitely watch the first one, I think. I don't know, maybe you had to see it when you were a kid, but I rewatched it recently with my kids and I thought it was still pretty great. I enjoy it. Kevin House, Bill Warren's Keep Watching the Skies is a must-have book for people who love 50s sci-fi films. Oh, cool. Well, thanks for that recommendation. Ethan Edwards says Dangerous Game was like a low-budget Basic Instinct. Dan Sten says Dangerous Game ain't good, but it's still better than 90% of Madonna's filmography. Gus says Dangerous Game is not a 4K. It's a Blu-ray from a 4K restoration. Oh, weird. Well, I don't know why Blu-ray.com had it listed that way, but thank you for clearing that up. And I think we are all caught up. So let's jump back over and see what else is coming out this week. We've got a re-release of Batman 4K, this time in a steelbook. I mean, I'm sure it's had a steelbook before, but we're getting this specific steelbook this time. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Just the suit silhouette there on the back, and then the front is the bat symbol. There you go. It's fine. It's okay. It's not the coolest artwork, but they got the bat. Look at that. You got the Batmobile on the inside, which is pretty cool. It's actually a screenshot from the film when they're running down the stairs. This is cool. I know a lot of people that love this movie, even to this day. 1989, obviously. Tim Burton film. It's a 4K Blu-ray and digital 4K collection, a little bundle there. And it is $30 right now on Amazon.com. Says it's list price $40, but who believes that? Who believes that it's ever going to be the list price? They hike up the list price. But there you go. Everybody knows what that is. I don't need to look at this. It's got a bazillion releases, all of these different releases, and this is just yet another re-release of Batman. This time a 4K steelbook. So there you go. That's coming out this week if you want to check that out. I don't think that was a Walmart exclusive. I think it's just a steelbook. No, it wasn't, because we can get it on Amazon. So there you go. You've got Batman 4K steelbook. We've also got The Devil's Honey getting a 4K release from Severn Films. This is a 1986 erotic thriller film. I'm scared to click on the slipcover. Okay, there we go. Just a woman sitting on a bike. Nothing inappropriate there. She's just sitting on a motorcycle. And then this one, she is being serenaded by a lovely man playing a saxophone for her. She seems to be enjoying it quite immensely. She seems to be really enjoying that saxophone. It might have something to do with the placement of the saxophone and such vibrations that might emit from a saxophone while it's being played by said lovely man. But there we go. That seems like a hoot. I think that one might be enjoyable. Maybe don't take the same kids that you're babysitting and taking to Kung Fu Panda 4, but that's The Devil's Honey getting a 4K release from Severn Films. I'm going to take a swig of my water from my James Bond cup as this thing continues to take forever to load. And we'll jump right into this next release from Film Movement, All About Lily Chow Chow Blu-ray. Here we go. So we've got All About Lily Chow Chow getting a Blu-ray release. This is a 2001 romantic drama / coming of age story / music / crime. Another jack of all trades movie. It gives you everything you can want, all the genres. There you go. That is a Japanese film from Film Movement, a very small label. I'm assuming it's small because I have never heard of it, and we've been doing this for almost a year now, so that's pretty cool. I love when we can still be surprised by newer labels. We've got Homegrown Horrors Volume 3 coming out with more 80s and 90s horror films, because that's all that Vinegar Syndrome is putting out this week. Look at those. Look at those. Super goofy looking. We got speaking of motorcycles, we got a motorcycle murderer there. We've got a bug-eyed looking puppet creature there, and then we've got some sort of yellow-eyed demon thing over there. So all kinds of things are chasing us and getting killed by those things. That is those movies in a nutshell. I'm assuming 3 films. I guess I should say the name of the films probably. That would be helpful. Revenge, very original title. Haunted Ween. What? Sorry, I'm reading this for the first time. Clearly, Haunted Ween is that one. Super clever title. And then Deadly Love. Deadly Love. Did not expect Deadly Love to be the best of those 3 titles, because that's not great either. But there you go. You got 3 bad movies from Vinegar Syndrome. That's what they do. They put out bad movies. People who like to watch bad movies and enjoy them go to Vincent and they pick them up. But every once in a while, Vincent puts out, genuinely great movies. And then the chat tells me about them. And then I give in to peer pressure and I buy them on live streams. Because that's what I do here. I've resorted to spending money live on live streams. All right, what else we got here? We already talked about Cemetery Man. The other Criterion release that's coming out this week is called Girl Fight, and it has a very colorful cover here. This is a 2000 film, a sports film, a teenage coming-of-age drama. Girl Fight. Diana Guzman is always fighting, whether at home in the housing projects with her abusive dad or at high school against gossipy girl cliques. But she finds a new outlet for her anger at her brother's boxing gym. Sweet. So it's a boxing movie. It's a fighting movie from 2000. I'm sure people are excited about that, as people always are about Criterion releases. And that's just a Blu-ray release, no 4K on that one. Not surprising. They're a little stingy with their 4K releases over there at Criterion. No shame. No grudges with Criterion. I'm sure they just do that based on what they think will sell best. Then we've got Cathy's Curse. Cathy's Curse. Severn Films dropping a ton of stuff this week. Usually it's just 1 or 2 from them. We've already gone through 4 or 5 from them this evening. Cathy's Curse getting a 4K release as well. Let's look at the overview here. Look at that. Another doll movie. Another creepy doll movie. It seems to be some kind of doll causing lots of unfortunate situations for these sad-looking people. This is a supernatural horror film. I think we could have gathered that. But there we go. Look at that. She looks very creepy. It looks like the doll is coming to life, or maybe the girl is like possessed by the doll. She's holding the doll. So whatever's in the doll is in her. She is possessed by the doll. Seems pretty standard, but maybe it's a great film. I don't know. I have not seen Cathy's Curse, but it is a 1977 film. So going a little bit out of our theme so far, which has been mostly late 80s, early 90s, we're going all the way back to the 70s for Cathy's Curse. That's a nice title. I like the alliteration. I think that's great. Speaking of great titles, we have The Great Alligator 4K release, getting a 4K Blu-ray combo pack from Severn Films. Severn Films on a roll, just dropping all kinds of stuff this week. The Great Alligator, a film by Sergio Martino, and yeah, looks like another giant alligator chasing people movie. This is from 1979, right after Jaws, where this thing seemed to be all the rage. My good friend Connor, who just popped up in the chat from an IHOP bathroom stall, is a big fan of alligator movies, so I'll have to recommend this one to him. This is coming from Severn Films. I don't know if he has any Severn Films or not, but it's only $31 right now on Amazon for a 4K movie from 1979. Check it out. Check out your local Amazon and see if you want to pick up that riveting alligator disaster film. Let's do one more here, and we got a lot to get through this week, so let's do one more. And we'll jump back and see what people are saying in the chat. And what a one to end on. Revenge of the Ninja getting a Blu-ray release, special edition from Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber, all over the place. They put out anything. Some of the releases are like Criterion releases. Some of the releases are like Vinegar Syndrome releases. You be the judge of which side of the spectrum this movie falls on. Revenge of the Ninja from 1983. Spoiler alert, it's a martial arts film, an action film, and it says drama. Maybe this is more serious than the title and cover would appear to be. He is holding a flare in one hand. He's holding what looks at first glance like a throwing star, but it is actually not shaped like a star at all. It's shaped like the bottom of a Christmas tree stand. It looks like he's holding an upside down Christmas tree stand, and he's already thrown some other ones. He's already thrown 3 other ones. He's got a long sticked comma on his back. He's got a dagger in his coat. He's got a sword at his waist and a flare in one hand, and he's jumping over a city, and he's getting his revenge. This looks pretty cool. It looks pretty fun. I don't know anything else about it, but I could have guessed that his family is killed and then he's getting revenge. But there you go. Revenge of the Ninja. Coming out from Kino Lorber with slipcover. Looks to be a very nice release. All right, let's jump back and see what people are saying. What the heck are people talking about over here? Oh, let's see. I wish I could like put a bookmark in the chat so I could find out where I was. Gleaming TV must be new here. Says, why is your collection color coordinated? Because I like it. Because it looks cool. That's it. Long story short, we used to have a very small townhouse and we had to store the collection in the main living area. We didn't have a lot of space, so we stored it in the main living area. So Grace and I decided to put it by color because it looked nicer and we wanted to make it presentable and look kind of nice since it was right there in everyone's faces. And then we've moved several times since then, but we just keep it because we like it and it looks cool and it's kind of my thing. That's what the whole channel is now. So I'm stuck with it. But no, it's fun. I just like how it looks. Dan's Den. Michael Smith celebrating Batman's 1 millionth release of the franchise titles. Yeah, they crank those things out. J. Hutch says Batman 89 is still my favorite Batman movie. CG anime fan, Batman 89 is the best film of the 1980s. Whoa, that's high praise. One of the greatest superhero films of all time, in my opinion. Christopher Throbbin. Welcome to the stream. That's a new name that I've never read before, as you can tell by my snickering. Bet they still have the terrible sound effects they put in for the prior 4K release of Batman. Maybe, probably. I'm assuming they didn't change anything. They just put it in a steelbook this time. Dan's Den, the Devil's Honey has... Whoa, the chat just jumped up. There we go. Must be the most bitter tasting sweet you've ever had. I got it. I see what you did there. Henry Bidenkamp, for some reason, I wasn't crazy about Lily Chow Chow, although it did get great reviews when released, just not for me at the time. Hey, no worries, man. No worries. There's not every movie is for every person. I know there's lots of classic movies, beloved movies that just weren't for me. I like how you said not for me at the time, though, because you never know. You got to rewatch things. You don't have to, but sometimes you rewatch things and you have a whole different perspective on it. An internet user, this person really liked the same film and the soundtrack. So whatever spot in life you're in, movies might hit you at the right time. Kevin House, I like 89 Batman film, but I remember thinking the immense amount of screen time given to Jack Nicholson's Joker overwhelmed the film. Yeah, that's probably the major criticism I've heard thrown at it as well. Oh, what else? Dan's Den, Girl Fight. Karen Kasama's directorial debut and Michelle Rodriguez's breakout role. Oh, that's Michelle Rodriguez. Awesome. I did not know that. Thank you, Dan's Den, as always, for your insight. Thank you for being here. Jay Hutch, Cathy's Curse, or as I prefer to call it, Cathy Ween. Cathy Ween. I can't get over that haunted ween. The Great Alligator. I doubt the movie lives up to its title. I'm sure there's an alligator in it, but I don't know how great the film is. Internet user says, who wins, the Great Alligator or the Deaf Crocodile? Well, that is a tale as old as time, sir. John Malahai, can it be any better than the 1980 Alligator film? I don't think so. That's the one I was referencing earlier. Connor's told me some great things about that one, but who knows? You have to watch them both, John, and tell me which one's better. Kevin House says the Twilight Zone's talky Tina doll was really creepy, and it was voiced by the late, great voiceover artist June Frey. Another interesting tidbit that I never would have known if Kevin House was not here. Speaking of Twilight Zone, we just went to a barcade last night, Grace and I, and they had a Twilight Zone table, and it was really cool. I liked it quite a bit. They also had a Creature from the Black Lagoon table, which is awesome because it has Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff, but it also has like movie theater stuff. So it's like the table is you going to the drive-in, the movie theater to see Creature from the Black Lagoon, and then at the end when you like lose your last ball, the credits roll, and then you like drive away in your car. It's really cool. One of my favorite tables. They also had a hook table, which was awesome. Love the hook table. Although the score snippet that they play over and over and over and over gets really old after a while. But the table itself is really cool. One of the only tables I've ever seen that like incorporates some stuff into the actual launching part. Like you have to launch it like the right way to get it into certain spots. It's pretty cool. Let's quickly go through some more Kino Lorber releases, starting with the complete 7th season of Monk. We've been documenting all of the Monk seasons as they drop. They've been doing, I think, one a month for 7 months now. And here we go. This is season 7 from 2008 and 2009. There's the slipcover on that. He's in a fish tank, folks. I don't know how good this show is by this point. I feel like season 7 is usually pushing it for some shows, but maybe that one kept consistent quality all the way up through season 7. I don't know. I did not watch that show. But if you did and you want a Blu-ray copy of it, Kino Lorber has got you covered. Bob Marley, One Love, getting a 4K steelbook from Paramount Pictures. Also includes the Blu-ray and the digital copy. Look at this. Interesting cover art here. I like the design of this film. I did not catch this film. I heard it was kind of mediocre, kind of mid, as the kids are saying these days, or were saying last time I checked. Probably not anymore, but there you go. Bob Marley, One Love, the biopic about Bob Marley, coming out. $35 on Amazon right now for a steelbook, 4K steelbook. That's not too bad of a price, but I would like to see it come down a little bit before I would be tempted to grab it. Quantum Cowboys, coming out from Factory 25, another partner label from Vinegar Syndrome. This is one I actually looked into for the sale, and I almost picked it up, but it wasn't 50% off because it is a new release that's still available for pre-order, but this looks insane. If you haven't seen Quantum Cowboys, go check out the trailer on YouTube or on the Vincent website. It is an absolutely insane movie. It has like it's an animated movie, but it's got a lot of rotoscoping, so you can tell they use live action actors to do it, and then they kind of animated over them. And there is like 10 different animation styles in one movie. It's very surreal. It's sci-fi, it's a comedy, it's a Western. It stars Lily Gladstone, recent award-winning Lily Gladstone. Also, David Arquette is in this. A bunch of people are in this. The trailer just looks insane. I highly recommend you check it out. I will be picking this one up eventually, but like I said, it's not 50% off right now. It is actually $21.78 on Amazon though, so not bad. Might have to just go ahead and pick that one up. I love surreal fantasy stuff. I definitely love surreal animation. This week, I just watched the most insane thing. Have you guys ever seen, what is it? It's from the 70s, I believe. It's from the 70s. It's called Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy's Musical Adventure. And it is the most insane, not the most insane, because I watch a lot of weird animation, but it is crazy animation for what I was not expecting Raggedy Ann and Andy's adventure to be so insane. It's like super dark, all of these intricate creatures. There's one creature that's like just made of chocolate, and he's called like Greedy or something, and he's basically just gluttony and the embodiment of gluttony. He's just like constantly eating things that are like, he's just like, they're in this river of chocolate, like in a little basket, and they're inside of him, and he's just like popping up over here and like eating sweets and stuff, and they're going in him and then just coming out into the river, and then he like goes down and then comes up on the other side of the screen, and it's just, I can't even explain it. Go check it out. It's available on YouTube. Skim through if you don't want to watch it, if you don't have kids, but it's insane. It's all about, it's like an anti-suicide movie. I don't even know if I can say that on a live stream, but like, I was not expecting that from Raggedy Ann and Andy. It's crazy animation, dark themes for adults embedded in this weird musical adventure. I don't know. The animation was incredible. It's apparently done by some legendary animator that did it. I would love to look up more of his stuff because it's insane. It looks crazy. Super cool. Check it out on YouTube. Had a good time watching that one with the kids. Luckily, they are young enough that they will not be scarred by that. Speaking of animation, we're getting the second season of Digimon getting a full Blu-ray release from the same studio that brought us Belladonna of Sadness, Discotech Media, which I think is a Japanese studio. So it makes sense that they will be putting out a complete season of Digimon. I grew up with that show. I don't think I saw the whole second season. I think I saw the first season and part of the second season. Then we've got Sasquatch Sunset, which is a very new movie. 2024 just came out, getting a release from Decal Releasing. I actually want to see this because I like Jesse Eisenberg. He's a lovable a-hole, it seems like. I like him quite a bit in the stuff I've seen him in. But I also just love Sasquatch stuff. I love Bigfoot movies. We don't get enough of them. We don't get enough Bigfoot movies. And this seems like a weird, awkward indie comedy about Sasquatches. So what more could I want? This seems like a perfect movie for me. And I will definitely be checking that one out. I've heard things about it. I don't think I've heard great or bad things. I've just heard about it, and I missed it in the theater, so I want to check that one out. Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock is getting a 4K steelbook release, another re-release for the 40th anniversary edition. We've got a Blu-ray, a 4K, and a digital copy, and a slipcover. Look at this. So we've got a slipcover on here. Let me zoom out so you can, well, or not. It's not really working. But we've got a really standard looking kind of generic cover on the front and the exact same artwork on the back. I don't like when they repeat stuff like that. Image on the inside, but it does have a clear slipcover if you are one to really enjoy slip-covered steelbooks. And you're a big Star Trek fan. That is coming out. It's only $25. That's another one like Batman where they've released those films a million times. So if you don't have it yet, if you've held out for some reason until now and you want to get a steelbook of it, there it is. Arthur the King. Good old Marky Mark coming out with his, doesn't sound like a dog movie, but it is a dog movie. Didn't he just do a dog movie? Or am I thinking of another guy? I think I'm thinking of the This Is Us guy. Milo Ventimiglia. I don't know how to say his name, but he also did a dog movie. Arthur the King, based on the incredible true story. Of course it is, because it's about a dog. Arthur the King is Mark Wahlberg's dog, and he did something amazing, probably. Yeah, it's a sports movie. I'm sure he saved someone. Yeah, adventure racer adopts a stray dog named Arthur to join him in an epic endurance race. And the dog helps him throughout the race. That is also a brand new movie, 2024. Clearly, I have not seen it, as you could tell by my stammering and yammering. Next up, we've got The Spirit of 45 from the Film Desk, another Vincent partner label. This is a documentary. I think it's a music documentary. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just a documentary. Just a documentary, it says here, but that's getting a release. That's a 2013 documentary, so brand new. So we're talking about a lot of new releases now. We're getting into the late 2000s part of the program this evening. Hope you're enjoying it so far. We're all over the place. There's so many things coming out. Blame it on Vincent. They're dropping everything all at once. But this is not related to Vincent. This is TerraVision, which I've talked about on the channel before. I recently picked up their Dante's Inferno release, and it was a wonderful, gorgeous release. So I can't speak on the quality of this film, but I can speak on the quality of their releases. This is a horror thriller comic book movie. Interesting. I am intrigued. A film by Piero Verla. Satanic. Interesting. Is this around the time of Danger Diabolique, 1968? Then old scar Dr. Marnie Bannister has a chance to regain her youth after committing murder to access a colleague's secret method of regenerating tissue cells, albeit with aggressive side effects which turn deadly in the mind-melting Satanic. This sounds really cool. I need to put this on my radar and remember this. I've got a group of friends and the other YouTube channel that I associate with here that I am on live streams. We talk about comic book movies a lot, and this is based on a comic book, Satanic. This sounds really cool. If you know anything more about this, let me know. I'm gonna put that one on my list. Not available from Amazon, probably because you have to get it from TerraVision's website. That's a 1960s film as well. I love 1960s, around the Barbarella era of sci-fi and action. So I'm excited. That seems pretty cool. Knox Goes Away, a 2023 film starring Michael Keaton of Batman, which we just talked about. This is a Blu-ray release of a brand new film from Lionsgate. It's a crime thriller. Michael Keaton's in his crime thriller era. He's doing a lot of that kind of stuff. He tried to go back to the Batman thing. That did not go so well. So he's doing the Liam Neeson thing. He's doing some crime thrillers. All That Breathes is getting a Criterion release. It's released through Criterion, but it is actually, I'm assuming it's probably a Janus contemporary film. This is a documentary from 2022. So there you go. Another Janus contemporary release. It's been a while since we talked about those, I think. But they've been putting out those consistently, and I know there's a lot of people that are collecting all of those, so you're going to want to grab that one when it comes out tomorrow, or maybe in the July sale when you can get it for half price. Let's see, we've got a few rows left here. Let's jump back to the chat and see what people are saying, and I will take a sip of water to save my poor voice. What do we have? Revenge of the Ninja, says Dan's Den. Some bloody canon goodness. Not as good as The Domination, though. Okay. We've got Ethan Edwards. Breaking Bad got progressively better every season. Oh, yeah. But they never made it to season 7, though. They only made it to 6. So I hold that there's probably not a season 7 that's like better than season 1. Maybe there is. Maybe Simpsons or something. I don't know. Dan Sten says Bob Marley, One Love suffers from a severe case of biopicitis. I'm assuming I know what you mean by that. Dan's Den, Raggedy Ann and Andy, I have seen. Richard Williams directed that. Most famous for Roger Rabbit and the never finished Thief and the Cobbler. It's a fever dream. It is a fever dream. Like I said, it's about a suicidal blue camel. It's also like Toy Story before Toy Story. It's about a bunch of toys that come to life and then they freeze whenever the little girl comes back in. It's mixed with live action elements of the little girl and her toys. And it's like, it's crazy. Now that you mention that, I do know that animator, and I have heard and I've looked into the story of Thief and the Cobbler, and it's crazy. It's so sad that he wanted to do it his way so badly that he just never got to finish it because it just took so long to animate. And that makes perfect sense because I've seen his animation style, and he does that thing where it's like, it's 2D, but the camera spins around and it looks 3D because he's like drawing each angle of it. There's a lot of that in The Thief and the Cobbler, and there's a lot of that in Raggedy Ann and Andy. It's crazy stuff. Internet user says Ann and Andy were tripping. I felt like I was just watching that, but my kids enjoyed it. My daughter did not like the chocolate monster that was eating himself. That was a little disturbing for her, so she turned away until he left. But everything else was interesting. Richard Williams said he's also fondly remembered for his adaptation of A Christmas Carol. Yes, Kevin House. I've also seen that, and that's one of my favorite adaptations of A Christmas Carol. The animation in that is also incredible. Ethan Jagger, from what I understand, that Sasquatch movie doesn't have a single word of dialogue, lol. Have you seen The Sasquatch Gang? Highly recommend that comedy. Very Napoleon Dynamite. Everything you're saying in this sentence is intriguing me. It doesn't have a single word of, so it's a silent film? That's even more intriguing. That sounds amazing. And no, I've not seen The Sasquatch Gang, but I'll see your obscure Sasquatch movie and I'll raise you an obscure Sasquatch movie. Have you seen Big and Hairy? Big and Hairy. It is a Sasquatch basketball movie. Check it out. I grew up with that movie. It's probably terrible, but I remember watching that a bunch as a kid. Dan's Den, The Art of Racing in the Rain is the Milo Ventimiglia movie. Thank you. The Art of Racing in the Rain. About dogs, I think. Or he has a dog, he races, he has a dog with him. Everyone has a dog. Dan's Den. Oh, The Spirit of 45 is a Ken Loach documentary. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Maybe provide me some information with who Ken Loach is. Let's see. Josh Null is still here. He's not abandoned us for his first time being here, so thank you. Hope you're enjoying your first stream. He says Arthur the King is not bad. I watched it because I love watching endurance racing shows. While a true story, the original movie people this movie is based on are from Sweden instead of the US. Well, you got to get Marky Mark in there to really bring it to a US audience, because we don't want to hear about Swedish people. We want to see Mark Wahlberg talking to a dog while he's trying not to die in the wilderness. Dan's Den, one of the guys at my work went to LA and got to see Knox Goes Away and meet Keaton. Wow. But did he watch one of my live streams from a bathroom stall in an IHOP? I think not, and probably for the best. Carl Hartman, I forgot to mention, I got Navy SEALs from Vinegar Syndrome the other day. Well, cool. Well, let us know what you think of it. Very divisive here on the channel. Some people love it. Some people think it is crap. I have not seen it, so I will not weigh in. But you let me know. Nerdy with Autism's here. Sorry I'm late. I was watching the original Beverly Hills Cop. Well, that's a great reason not to be here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you laughed, and I hope you cried. Jeremy Reed, your live stream feed looks like there's over sharpening with the artifacts. What? I don't know what that means. Over sharpening with the artifacts. Sorry. I don't know, man. I just plug it in OBS and I hook it up to the old YouTube and fire it up. I don't know how to handle that fancy talk, but thank you. That sounds like a bad thing though. So maybe don't, I don't know. Dan's Den. Ken Loach is an acclaimed UK filmmaker who often makes movies about the British middle class. Ethan Dagger says I'll have to check out Big and Hairy. You really don't. You really don't have to check it out. Probably. I'm assuming it doesn't hold up. That's one of those ones that you haven't seen since you were a kid, but you just know that you don't even need to rewatch it because it's definitely not going to hold up. Arrow Video. Let's get back to Arrow Video. We haven't talked about them all the way since the first topic of conversation tonight with their release of Crimson Peak. They're also releasing Pandemonium this week. Just a Blu-ray release, a limited edition slip-covered release of Pandemonium. There you go. So they kind of have tiers of their limited editions. They have the big slip boxes. Some movies get those, and some movies just get slipcovers these days. Still have the art cards and still have the poster in there, but it's just a slip-covered release. This is Pandemonium right here. So you've got your slipcover, you've got the art cards, and you've got the poster, which are all the exact same image. And it is a 2023 brand new film. Brand new French horror film called Pandemonium. The cinematography looks kind of cool down there. Have not seen this yet. But it's another horror film because we can't get away from horror this evening. So I hope you're a horror fan. Don't worry, we'll talk about other things, but there is a lot of horror coming out. We've got Vincent, all of their partner labels, and we've got Severn Films, and we've also got Arrow putting out horror stuff. So lots of horror this week. Speaking of, he was just mentioned, Liam Neeson, still doing his action movie phase. This is a 2023 action crime thriller from the great Liam Neeson in the Land of Saints and Sinners from Samuel Goldwyn Films. There's the cover. Standing on the front with a gun on his shoulder. And there's a bad guy down here with a gun under his arm. Looks like said bad guy has killed important relative of Liam Neeson's character, probably wife. And then here, he has a flower that he's holding on to. Probably some memento of said dead wife. But yeah, a revenge thriller there with Liam Neeson. He can't seem to get away from that. He needs his own Star Wars show. Give him a prequel Star Wars show, Disney Plus, so he can stop doing all these action thriller movies. What else do we got here? Fear City, 1984, Shout Factory exclusive, the first title from Shout Factory that we've talked about this evening. One movie, 2 cuts, and it is limited to only 1,620 copies. Another crime, drama, mystery thriller film, but a little more classic. This is from the 80s. Look at that classic 80s cover. Everyone's wearing suits, leather jackets, feathery nightgown dress things. And we're in the middle of the city, right in the heart of the city. No slipcover release. This is just standard Blu-ray release. And it's got the longest little blurb here. Where the night belongs to the girls. Everyone is watching them, but someone is waiting for them. Not everyone is living in Fear City. Man, that's a mouthful. But look at that. It's got Billy D. Williams in it. A very young Billy D. Williams. Not too young. He's never too young. But he's young enough in Fear City. 1984. So if you've been waiting that one for a long time, there it is. It's coming out. It's getting a Blu-ray release from Shout Factory, who I believe is also doing a sale right now. I'm getting a lot of emails about sales. I don't know why they always do the sales at the same time, but there we go. We've got Shout Factory. We've got a Kung Fu Panda 4 Blu-ray release as well. We've already talked about that when we talked about the 4K release. We've got a movie called Drift from 2023 from Utopia Distribution getting a release. This is a very short 93-minute drama about Jacqueline escaping her war-torn country to a Greek island. She meets an unmoored tour guide, and the two become close as they each find hope in the other. So a very serious drama film, quite a departure from all the goofy shenanigans we've been talking about this evening so far, but a very low, limited run on that. I'm sure the very small boutique, or small label is what I was trying to say there. We've got some anime shows, and then we've got Amanda, a 2022 release. This is Oscilloscope Laboratories, which I brought up earlier briefly. They also put out more modern releases. Like I said, 2022, and it is a film by Carolina Cavalli. Amanda, 24, lives mostly isolated and has never had any friends, even if it's the thing she wants the most. Amanda chooses her new mission as to convince her childhood friend to believe that they are still best friends. So, a drama, maybe a little bit of coming of age there from 2022. Oscilloscope Labs always puts out great releases, so I recommend that. Or I recommend them, maybe not the film. I haven't seen the film, but I do recommend their releases. They put out nice little limited edition digipack releases. You can see right there. Wow, look at this. Into the Blue. Remember this movie? Wow. Remember, what's her name? What is her name? Oh my goodness. Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba and Paul Walker, starring in Into the Blue, full of sexy people swimming around underwater. There we go. This is a re-release. This movie's already had a Blu-ray, but this time we've lowered the color. We've done a monochromatic, just all blue on the abs, and there it is. It's like a little action crime thriller thing. They find like money underwater or something like that. I haven't seen the film, but it's $14. MPI Media Group putting out another re-release Blu-ray of that film. So if that's one of your favorites, and you've worn out your other Blu-ray copy by watching it too much, well, there you go. You can get a second Blu-ray copy of a new edition. And then we'll do a couple more here, and I'll talk to you guys in the chat. We are flying through this, but we do have so much to get through that we are almost out of time. It's already an hour 20. Just so much stuff to get through this week. We've got the most important thing, Love, coming out on Blu-ray, a 1975 film. This is also from Film Movement. It is a romance and a drama. No artwork on that coming up for me for some reason. I feel like the reason we're almost out of time is because this thing is taking so long to load every single time. It's adding so much time to the stream. From Cohen Media Group, we've got Io Capitano, from 2023, which I clicked on and it took me to a different film. So I'm not going to click on that again. But that is what I meant to click on. I love Cohen Media Group. I have a couple releases from them. You can buy their stuff on KinoLorber.com from Kino Lorber's website. And that looks like a cool movie. But for some reason, they must have put the wrong link on Blu-ray.com because it took me to a different film when I clicked on that. We've also got Darkness from 2002 getting a release from Shout Factory, another Shout Factory release. This is a supernatural horror thriller mystery with some creepy men in masks over there and some children. Oh, I always hate to see children in distress in these horror films, but for some reason, that is what they always do. I guess it adds to the anxiety of it. But you got 2 cuts for that classic film Darkness from 2002. Lots of early 2000 stuff coming up this evening as well. Man, Blu-ray, you got to get this straightened out because it is taking so long to get through this. I'm just going to rattle these last ones off because they're very small releases, and every time I try to open this, it takes forever to get me back. So I'm just going to go through these. We've got The Bricklayer from 2023, another new release coming out this week. Hurricane Polymar from 2017 getting a release. Damage from 2024 getting a release. Samuel Jackson still cranking out those movies. I don't like, how much more money can a man have? The Amityville Curse from 1990. That's actually a really cool looking cover. Getting a release there. Another early 90s film. The Great Alligator, which we talked about earlier, getting a different release from Severn. 2 different releases there. That looks like some cooler artwork. I actually like the artwork on that one. Then we've got Red Right Hand from 2024. And a couple other things here that I'm not sure if they're TV shows or movies, but I think we made it through everything. We've done it. We've made it through every release. That was a ton of stuff to get through, and we did it in just right at an hour 20. So I'll leave the last 10 minutes to chat with you guys and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Sorry I had to go a little quick through those. Hope you don't mind, but it was a lot to get through, and Blu-ray.com was not cooperating this evening with its loading speeds, which was a little frustrating, but I think we made it through all right. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Last call for any questions or comments or donations or whatever people want to be doing this evening. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be talking about movies with you guys for the next 10 minutes. You got me. So what do you want to talk about? Big AI. I got to see Anatomy of a Fall in the movie theater, and I was so on the edge of my seat the entire second and third act. Reminded me of watching 12 Angry Men for the first time. Definitely picking it up. I will also be picking it up. I also had the same experience as you did. That was actually on a night where Grace had to go to bed early because she had to get up early, like 5:30 in the morning to go to work. So we only planned to watch like half of it, and then we're going to finish it another night. But we got so into it that we just blew through the whole thing and finished it. So I'm with you. It's a great movie. I like it quite a bit. Nerdy with Autism. Oh, quick, putting me on the spot here, like Nerdy with Autism is prone to do. Your favorite movie in the yellow colors in your collection. Okay, what is back there in the yellow section? It's all right there. Why did I go that way? That's the wrong way. Let's see. What do we have here? We have Robert Altman's Popeye, which is good. Mutiny on the Bounty I've heard is good, but I have not seen it yet. The Love Bug, a childhood favorite of mine. We've got both Parent Trap films, which I think are both pretty good. Not going to be my favorite though. I love Paperman. Paperman is one of my all-time favorites, and I might have to give it to it just because I'm the only one in the world that likes it. Troll Hunter is a really, really good found footage mockumentary kind of movie about a hunter of trolls. I really like that movie. So top 3, Troll Hunter, Paperman, and How to Train Your Dragon, probably. I love How to Train Your Dragon. This is just my yellow section over here. All the yellow boutiques are over there, which if I was counting the boutique shelf over there that you can't see, it would absolutely be Charlie Chaplin's Circus, because that's in the yellow section. I love Charlie Chaplin's Circus. If we're going here, I'm going to go with Paperman from 2009, starring Jeff Daniels and Emma Stone. One of my all-time favorites. Dan's Den, Fear City, another Abel Ferrara joint. Looks like sleazy 80s New York stuff. Thank you. Yeah, it looks very, very, very 80s. Ethan Yeager. Is it Yeager? Is it Ethan Yeager? I feel like that's how I should be saying it. I really liked Into the Blue. I thought it was a fun action movie. Pretty solid cast, too. Josh Brolin has a pretty big part in it. Haha. I haven't seen it, so don't take my word for it. I don't know. I just know that's kind of a memeable movie at this point. But But I think people enjoy it. Dan said, Into the Blue reminds me of Robot Chicken Joke. Paul Walker was such a bland beefcake. Bland beefcake sounds like a great stripper name. John Malahai, Lo Capitano is one of the best movies I've seen this year. It was up for the Oscar this year, opened in theaters in February here. Oh man, I wish I could open it, but Blu-ray.com is not cooperating. But yeah, it looks really cool. And now that you mentioned it, I actually have seen that. I've seen some screenshots of that, but it's kind of like a weird, surreal kind of fantasy movie, right? Well, I mean, it's not a fantasy movie. It's like a standard drama, but I think there's like some surreal visuals in it. I remember when you saw that, and I was jealous. What else do we got? Darkness. I watched for an F Cinema Score video script that I have yet to finish. Movie was dull, and apparently the director got screwed over in the editing room. Oh, you hate it when that happens. You hate to see it. Internet user, no way there's a release simply called The French. Did we not talk about that one? I don't think we did. I didn't see that one. Ethan Edwards, I'm going to watch a war film for Memorial Day. Very cool. Let me know which one you're planning on watching. Maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you'll figure it out. Ethan Edwards, what is the Pineapple box set? Pineapple box set is, we talked about that before. It is the Psych complete series. We talked about that on this show when we talked about the Psych Blu-ray complete series that just came out. That's the DVD. That's back when we only had it on DVD. It's all 8 seasons, or is it? I think it's 8 seasons, and then there's like a movie and a musical, and it doesn't include the 3 most recent movies. They've done 3 Peacock original movies. It doesn't include those because it came out before that. The Blu-ray set includes those, but yeah, that's the old DVD set. I don't think I'm gonna upgrade to Blu-ray. I think I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I don't know if I don't rewatch Psych that often, but sometimes, maybe on like holidays, I'll rewatch some of the holiday episodes. Henry Beidenkamp, that's weird. I was able to click on Lo Capitano Blu-ray and the info came up. Directed by Matteo Garrone, who directed Gomorrah. Yeah, a lot of so you've seen it as well, or maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe you just are talking about it. Dan's Den, I have Paperman on DVD. Well, watch it because it's great. Internet user, have you seen any of the Sean Baker's films? His latest film has won the Palme d'Or. I don't think so right off. Maybe I have. I don't think so though. I don't believe so. Let's see. Ethan Edwards says, I just watched The Cold Blue, a WW2 documentary last night and really enjoyed it. So cool. I like that you're doing themed stuff. I always like to do themed stuff around holidays and other month themes when I can. Josh Noel, Paperman is great. I love weird Ryan Reynolds movies. Yeah, that's still my favorite Ryan Reynolds performance. I love him in that, and I usually am not a huge fan. Rich Mike, how old are you? That's an easy one. I can answer that one right now for you. I am 32. Oh, you guessed 34. Oh, that's not good. That's a shame. That's very upsetting. Ragnar 666, more like 38. Oh man, wow. I am really putting off old man vibes this evening. Ethan Edwards, maybe coming home, or So Proudly We Hail. Okay. So check those out. Get back to me. Let me know what you think. Jaeger like Jägermeister, LOL. I appreciate it. Okay. Cool. Glad I fixed that. I think I fixed it. I actually don't know if I fixed it or not. John Malahai, Sean Baker equals Tangerine, Florida Project, and Red Rocket. Oh, okay. So we actually just talked about this. John and I went bowling with our significant others over the weekend, and we were talking about this director. Or actually, I don't think it was when we were bowling. I think when we were eating dinner, we talked about Sean Baker. Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of his movies all the way through. I remember we started Florida Project, but we did not finish it. But I'm familiar with the director. I just haven't seen his films. Nerdy with Autism, what's your favorite movie of 2023? Oh, I will refer you to the video that we did on our 2023. We did a video on our favorite 2023 movies. I can't remember exactly which one I said, but it was something. It was either. I said like a few things because I couldn't really decide. 2023 was a really hard year for me. There wasn't really like a standout for me. It was either Poor Things, or the one we just talked about, Anatomy of a Fall. I also really liked There's one other one that I really liked. But yeah, if you check out that video, it's called like our top favorite movies of 2023. Grace and I did it together, and I also have a list on Letterboxd that you can check out, and I have those ranked on there. But yeah, lots of good stuff. There's a lot of good movies 2023. I didn't have like a standout favorite like 5-star movie from 2023. Ethan says, just watched Dune 2 last night and really enjoyed the action set pieces and cinematography. Would have been great as a limited series to invest into characters. Interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the next Dune movie looks like, because it's kind of, I think he's kind of doing it as a trilogy. Nerdy with Autism, I was guessing 32. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, perfect. Well, there you go. I'm glad I look somewhat close to my age. I was born in 1992. We bring it up on the, that comes up on the channel here because I've like famously I haven't seen very many movies from my birth year at all. And I need to correct that and start watching some movies from 1992. Let's see what else here. I think we've wrapped it up. It's right at 1:30. We're coming up to the end. If you have anything else, throw it in there, but we are finishing up. Ben Ross M says, you liked Holdovers. Thank you for reminding me what I liked. Yes, Holdovers was great. I haven't decided if I'm going to pick up the 4K yet. We didn't get a 4K here in the States, but they got a 4K overseas in the UK, and you can pick that up on amazon.uk, .co.uk, but I haven't picked it up yet. I don't know. I'm kind of holding off, waiting, hoping that some boutique label here in the States picks it up. Maybe a Criterion. I think Paul Giamatti was in the Criterion Corner recently, or the Criterion Closet recently. So maybe there's a chance. I don't know. Hopefully we can get that eventually. It's not one that I need to rewatch right away, but eventually I'll get that on physical and I'll watch that around Christmas time because I really did enjoy that one. I actually popped it on recently. It's on Amazon or something, and I watched like the first 5 minutes. It's great. It's really good. Oh no, I was just about to read a comment and they removed it. So we might be wrapping it up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this holiday evening. I mean, it's Memorial Day, and you guys are here sitting and listening to me ramble about movies. We had a lot to get through this evening, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, making it more fun as I go through these. Like I said, I just do this kind of for myself to keep up with what's coming out, so I don't miss out on any big releases that I want to check out. But I also do it for you guys, so I can let you guys know what's coming out, and so we can just have a good time talking. I love talking to you guys on these late night streams. It's always a good time. Ethan Yeager says Sideways would be a great on Criterion. I agree, 100%. And I love Sideways. And I like it probably just as much as Holdovers, I think. I think Sideways is great. I actually rewatched Sideways right after we watched Holdovers earlier this year because I got such a hankering to watch Sideways again because it's great. I really like that one. I just have a very standard bare bones release back there in the dark red section. So I'd love a Criterion release. That'd be great. Do Sideways and Holdovers. I'll grab them both. People still talking about my age. So Nerdy with Autism says, I don't know why, but you look 29, LOL. Well, I apparently look 29 to some and 38 to others. So I've got like a good decade span there that I could pass for. So that's good. I'm glad. I am age ambiguous. Ethan Edwards says Alexander Payne is underappreciated. Yes, I agree. Even though I'm part of the problem because I've only seen those two. I think I haven't seen any other of his films. I need to check out more because I love both of those films. I don't know. Those two are very specifically similar though, right? Like I don't think all of his films are like that. I think he intended to make kind of like a spiritual sequel. It's not a sequel, but you know what I mean. It's very similar to Sideways in a lot of ways. 123 Rock fan. My parents hated the Holdovers because Giamatti played a pretentious teacher, and I'm like, that's where the comedy comes from. LOL. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't work for people. Sometimes they don't buy into it. But yeah, I've definitely had that response before where they're like, well, this is this, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's the point. but sometimes it doesn't work. Ethan, thanks for making these and sharing your vids. Love seeing you and Grace talk about your love of movies. Well, thank you, man. We were just talking today about another video that we might make together. So stay tuned to the channel. And Kevin House says, I second Ethan's comment. Love you guys. Appreciate all the kind words. Still going about the age thing. I'm sure people in watching the video are not interested at all in talking about my age, but 123 Rock Fan says, I'm almost 33 and sometimes people think I'm 23. Well, that's great. That's actually a really good thing. Dan's Den says, DJ is 32, looks 29, and has the mind of a critical 60-year-old. Now, that has been said before. I've definitely been called an old soul before. Hey, speaking of, next comment right here, Kevin S. says, you seem like an old soul. Yeah, I do. I get along well with old people. And I mean actually elderly people, but also just people that are slightly older than me. Yeah, I don't know, man. What are you going to do? That's what I am. Bailey Walsh says, I relate to that. I turned 29 in a month and people mistake me for a teenager somehow. Yeah, people are weird. I remember not recently, ever since I've been like rocking the beard, but before I used to rock a beard, like every time I would go to get my haircut, the lady would be like, so are you still in school? I'm like, no, I graduated college in 2015. I am 29. I am not in school anymore. But now that doesn't happen anymore. I'm old enough now that I finally got out of that. Rocking the beard and stuff helps for sure. But yeah, something about hairdressers, they always ask you if you're still in school. Maybe that's just like a standard question they have to ask everybody. I don't know. Anyway, we're off the rails. We're well past an hour and a half. So I'm going to wrap it up here, so that you guys can go get some sleep and go hang out with your family on this Memorial Day. Thank you for listening to me ramble about all these new releases this evening. I enjoyed all of you here, especially the new folks. We got some new first-time watchers here. I don't know if it's just because people were able to do it because it's a holiday, or if it had anything to do with new people coming on after we did the Vincent stream. Whatever it is, whatever the reason, thank you for joining us. And we'll be doing this again. We'll be back again next week, next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to join us. And we'll be going over everything that's coming out in the first week of June. We're already in June. Summer is right around the corner. And I'll be here talking about new releases with you guys. So until next time, keep collecting, and I'll be back with another video real soon.